You're listening to the Straight Crooked Podcast.
Ooh,
Okay, so hello, good morning.
good morning.
We are both, I guess, on a weird wavelength today. Just getting behind on everything
Oh yeah.
this morning. But we're here. I know that this character has been reoccurring in each of these podcast episodes. Who is it?
Alec Murdaugh?
No.
Oh,
Actually, we haven't discussed Alec at all. We're going to discuss him today, but we did
mm,
it in that episode that we scrapped, so we haven't really discussed it.
character. Are we talking about Paul?
No, I'm talking about Danny McBride.
Oh my God, stop. You stop it right now. Go ahead.
Okay, so the reason I bring him up is because I told you that he reminds me of your dad a lot, and my mom agrees. She concurs. Um, but that had me thinking about the Electra and Oedipus complex. Do you know what
Hmm.
those are?
No, I do not.
Okay, so this is a Freudian thing, and Freudian is all about internal desires and stuff, which is a little bit weird. But the Oedipus complex is for boys, and it's a stage in development when you're younger, and you want to kill your father and be with your mother. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the Electra complex is the same thing, but you want to kill your mother to be with your father.
Oh my God.
But the reason I bring that up is because I feel like a lot of us tend to go for individuals who remind us of our opposite sex parent. Um, and it's not a weird thing. Like, it's not a creepy thing. I think it's just characteristics that you admire and that you've grown up with, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But just like, so you're not alone. Anybody who knows
Thanks.
me or my father um knows that my dad looks like Owen Wilson. And Owen Wilson has been my celebrity crush since I was like 10 years old. So you're not by yourself in this.
Thank God. But like, I will say, I've noticed my taste has changed. It didn't used to be like the Danny McBride type. You know this. It used to be like the tiny little skinny looking like they're dying, which is
Yeah.
so not like anything like my father.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to bring that up.
Hmm.
So you actually had me thinking about this. So do you know that when you start to get older, your taste changes because when you are younger, it's more about fun. Like you look for people with more symmetrical features. And that's actually how you determine objective hotness. Like Brad Pitt has a very symmetrical face. And so does
Oh,
George
okay.
Clooney and everything like that. Like that's how you determine objective attractiveness. Um, but with that, as you get older, you start to look for someone like a mate that would be a good father and provider, like your biological senses start to kick in.
Okay.
So that's probably why your taste is starting to evolve because you're getting older.
That's interesting. Isn't that's kind of like a universal thing, I guess, for
Yeah,
most people?
yeah, it
I
is.
never realized that. I just, in my head, I'm like, my taste is my taste. And then one day I woke up and I stopped. Well, I mean, I still kind of have like
You
taste
do.
for
You still do.
the skinny little guys, but
Mm.
I'm very, like Sal from Impractical Jokers kind of changed it for me. I'm like, that is my type right there. And then of
Well,
course Danny and yeah.
yeah, that is why the dad bod is becoming so popular now. You
Yes.
realizing this? Like, that is who you end up marrying and settling down with,
Okay, that
is the
makes
person who's
sense.
not as like, oh, I'm gonna faint. They're so attractive. Because that's typically your more short-term relationships. So
Well, that's fair. And I knew about the whole dad bod craze, but I was just like, I'm not against it, but I was just never into it personally. And now I get it. Like I get
now I
it.
get it.
But I don't know, I just feel like the issue with me and like the, I guess we'll say celebrity crushes that I choose, they're all in like their mid to late 40s. And I'm sitting here like 25 years old. Like, shouldn't my taste chill out for a couple more years? My
Well,
brain is fully developed now though, right? Because I'm
it is.
25.
Yep.
I guess it's fine then.
Well, two, you always realize that men, and I hate to say this, I feel like I'm attacking them, but
You can.
they are less emotionally mature. So I feel
Yeah.
like being with an older man, you guys are kind of like on the same wavelength, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
Not that I know,
Because
I don't have any experience, but I can
I know,
imagine.
but just saying, guys our age have a lot of growing up to do still.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. Anyway. Um, Another weird psychological thing I saw, and I don't know if you remember seeing this, where it says that a lot of people don't have an inner monologue in their head. Like people say that they don't talk to themselves in their head.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, I'm like, that's called having a thought. How do you have a thought without
Do
having an
people not
internal
think?
monologue?
What?
Yeah.
What's more common, to have an inner monologue or to not?
I think it's like 50-50 from what I remember this. Yeah,
I need to know how many people I've come across and interacted with that don't have an inner monologue because that is bizarre to me.
it is. And I just had a theory, which I don't know, maybe I need to do a study on this one day, but I feel like people who do have an inner monologue are probably more susceptible to depression and mental health disorders.
Love that.
I'm just saying because you talk to yourself a lot and you probably ruminate on a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I have like an inner monologue in my dreams. For example, this morning, I was dreaming about planning out episode 5 of the podcast, and that's what snapped me awake to text you and be like, oh my God, I forgot we were supposed to be filming today. But yeah, I could see that being true. I think you should try to conduct a study if you can.
I'm not a scholar anymore, or an academic.
Do you have to be?
Um, no, but I mean, I feel like you have to be able to get the resources.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
like
out. We'll do a podcast study.
podcast study. I like that. Um, I did one study once, and we actually got picked to go up to a conference. It was in North Carolina, and we thought
Really?
we were just yeah, we thought we were just doing a poster presentation, and then a week before they were like, "No, these are speaking presentations," and I was like,
Oh
"Oh
my God.
shit! Oh shit!
I would have backed out right
What?"
then and there.
Well, my partner, I think she was counting on me to back out because she was like, oh, well, I think we can do it, but it's up to you. And I think she was expecting me to say no, but I was like, you know what? Let's do it. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you did. I feel like I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I feel like it's a good thing that you did it.
yeah, no, it was actually really fun. We had a lecture hall full of people and had to yeah, no, it was crazy. It actually really was. It was the Carolina Psychological Conference is what it was called.
Wow.
But we did a study on cell phones and being distracted, like just the presence of your phone in a room, like even if it's face down, it's still taking away from your attention and like
Right.
notifications, or if you feel your phone vibrate, you automatically go to that and your attention
Yep.
is divided already. And so we actually did a study where we sat in on different classes at the
Mm,
college and observed people from the back, you know,
nice.
to see what they were doing, like on their laptops, like if they were online shopping or whatever, which it happened a lot, or if they were texting and anything like that, and just showing how much their attention was divided. And it was a lot. It was a
I
lot.
bet. I bet it was.
Yeah. And I mean, I would have explained it a lot better back in the day when it was fresh, but that's been hell 6 years now. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
I mean, even just a minute ago towards the beginning, I don't like I have nothing that I need to be in my phone for, but my screen lit up beside me and I did glance over just to see what it was. I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it across the room.
But yeah, no, seriously, and I think that's probably why we all have ADHD now, truthfully.
Probably.
Um, because we are just so distracted by everything all the time.
100%. I noticed for me, it got really bad after I became really deep into what? Really deep into TikTok. It got to the point where like 99% of the time, I can't watch something if I'm alone because I'm gonna pull out my phone. I don't care if I'm just pulling up Twitter or whatever. And I just tell myself, oh, I'll just be holding it, whatever. And then I start reading it. I can't even listen to what I'm watching. I can't watch movies alone, TV, whatever. But if someone's with me, most of the time I have no problem just putting my phone down and paying attention.
Yeah.
It's bizarre and I don't like it. I want to enjoy television on my own as well. But I have this like compulsion in my head that's like, if it's just a tiny bit of silence or maybe a little bit less exciting
Right.
happening in the show, then I'm picking it up and I'm looking at my phone.
And then by the time you realize it, it's been like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, I either need to turn it off or rewind it and try again.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
I hate it.
I
I
get like
hate it a
that.
lot. Like that's probably my biggest complaint about being so chronically online.
Well, that's what they call doom scrolling, right? Like you just continue and continue and continue, and it's
Yeah,
just it's too much. It's making us dumb.
it really is. That amongst a couple of other things contributed to me becoming a little bit dumber.
I don't know if I want to know what they are.
Oh, it's
Um,
nothing serious, just COVID, brain fog, and a head injury.
when did you get a head injury?
In May,
Oh yeah.
I've noticed, I don't know if I'm ready to tell like that full story and stuff because it's still kind of weird for me to think about too much. But I've definitely noticed a lot of differences in myself since it happened. Memory issues, even changes in the way that I think. It's
Really?
very bizarre. Yeah. Maybe I'll dive into all that in a different episode.
Yeah, should
Yeah.
do that. Um, okay. So before we talk about the Murdaugh case and
Hmm.
what's going on there, um, I watch trials for fun. I watch
Yes.
courtroom trials for fun. And so there has been this one, and it's very salacious because she was a sex therapist. And so it's like sex therapist murder trial, and because they want to make it, they want to sell,
Right.
sex sells. But she was also a marriage therapist, she was an LMFT. And so anyway, this was a case of stalking. And so she was a very prominent therapist in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
And she actually even dated Drew Carey. She was engaged to him for a point in time.
Random.
Yeah, I know. Very odd. But she had dated this guy back in 2010. Okay.
So a long time ago.
2010. Yes. And they were together for about a year or so. And so fast forward to 2020, she goes to this event. And he happens to be the photographer for the event. And he runs into her and he says, "You bitch, you ruined my life." Um, Starts crying, is like in the fetal position, like horrendously distraught.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
she kind of, talks to him for a little bit because, she's a therapist. She's thinking that she can de-escalate the situation, you know. So she ends up talking to him for a little bit. And so she was hoping that was going to be it. Like,
Hmm.
she saw him at the event and he was like, "Can we be friends?" And she's like, "I don't think that's a good idea." And then a couple of days later, he found her phone number and was texting her. And then she continues to say, like, "I don't think this is a good idea, this isn't isn't good." And she kept texting her friend saying how afraid she was of him. Just like knowing where she lives, everything. And so one night it was Valentine's Day, and she had gone to this burlesque show with her girlfriends or whatever. They were doing a Galentine's.
Hmm.
And he had broken into her house hours before at like 8 p.m. and she got home around 1 a.m. So he was just sitting there lying in wait for her.
Oh my God.
And he tried to inject her with a lethal dose of nicotine, which is crazy. Um, Strangled her and threw her off the balcony.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that is just so scary to fathom that somebody is holding on to that much anger 10 years later.
Right.
It boggles my mind. So it's still in the middle of the trial, but it was a slam dunk case, even in opening arguments. They were
Mhm.
like, they had ring security footage. They had DNA under her fingernails. They had the same syringe that was in her apartment was in his apartment, like the
Oh, of
same brand and
course.
everything. Um, but they're trying to say it was second degree murder, like, or something like that, manslaughter. The defense is saying that. And it's like,
You're
no,
kidding.
you obviously had the foresight and intent to go and kill her because you waited there for her for 5 hours,
Absolutely.
you know?
How was that even a question?
But I also found it very interesting and kind of funny because she not anything with that is funny, but she, has a lot of therapist friends. And so they
Mm.
were called to the witness stand. And because one of her therapist friends was there that night with her when she ran into him. And it was just hilarious to me because of how receptive they are to people's body language and emotions and everything. It was like he painted a very clear picture of how this whole thing went down.
Oh my God.
And it's like, it was just hilarious to me. It was like, okay, that's a very, very good witness to be able to have on the stand, are these
Right.
therapists. And it's like, if anybody understands, they understand,
Yeah.
the how they were acting and everything. But the defense, dear God, they objected to every single thing. It's like we can't even get through a witness without them saying objection, objection, objection. So
Oh
still
my
going on.
God.
We'll see. I know he's got to be found guilty. He needs to be.
If not, I don't believe in anything anymore.
I'm telling you. Like, it's
That's really
ridiculous.
scary though. Like, I'm already afraid enough of the world, but to think, like you said, 10 years later, someone's still holding on to something so deeply that they could do something like that, it makes you just not want to interact with anybody for fear of whatever. Like, so many bad things happen these
Mhm.
days. We have matching drinks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, mine's Powerade, but we have blue. Sorry.
Yeah. Um, so my thing is what's so funny to me, and I never make fun of people's appearances, but when you do something as terrible as this, it's kind of free game. I don't care.
For sure.
He and in 2020 was a very attractive man. He really was. You see him at the trial, and the first thing I was like, is that him? Holy shit. He looks like he's aged like 15 years. He's put
I
on
think I'm
weight.
gonna have to see him now.
You're gonna have to look. And honestly, maybe we can just throw that in here, like on the video version,
For
show it
sure.
before
I'll
and
put it up.
after.
Yes, I would love
But
to.
it is seriously just shocking.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Oh man.
Because I agree with you. If someone does something this bad, they deserve to be made fun of and all the bad things. So,
Yeah, I agree. The next case I want to talk about, which is my absolute just, I don't know. Alec is my nemesis and he doesn't know that I exist. But they now, which if you don't know the Alec Murdaugh saga, I'm sorry, I can't help you because we would be here and just create a whole new podcast out of everything that's gone on, and there has been a podcast created by it. So if you're interested, look at the Murdaugh Murders podcast. And I actually, it's funny because Mandy Matney, she's the one who narrates that, and her husband I actually used to work with. So
what?
it's and he's on the podcast too sometimes, which is pretty funny.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah,
That's
and so
awesome.
it's just hilarious being down here because you realize like how many people are connected in
Oh,
some
yeah.
way. Um, but so with that, we know that he was found guilty for killing Maggie and Paul. And so now The defense has come forward and they've had some signed affidavits from jurors stating that the clerk of court, Becky Hill, was tampering with the jury. And she, these jurors have signed these affidavits saying, yes, this happened. And like, just for instance, the one juror that was dismissed, she, they said when she was dismissed or excused, the judge asked her, he's like, do you have anything back there? And she goes, yes. And he goes, what is it? A dozen eggs? It's like,
Excuse
why do
me?
you have a dozen eggs back there, lady?
She brought eggs to court?
Yeah, so they infamously called her the egg lady. But she was supposedly dismissed for she said they alleged that she was talking to her ex-husband about it, and the ex-husband made a post on Facebook. And
Okay.
so that was the story back then. And
Mhm.
apparently Becky Hill had talked to her about it and everything and then went to the judge, which that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to go to the judge first and he handles it appropriately. But
Right.
turns out that she hasn't spoken to her ex-husband in 10 years. And um she also, the one who posted it wasn't even her husband, her ex-husband. It was a guy with the same last name.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my
So they
God.
dismissed her for no reason.
Yeah.
And
Besides the smelly eggs.
right, well, she was on the fence. She was on the fence.
Oh.
And because I'm sure you know this, Becky Hill wrote a book about this
Mhm.
trial. And so I really think that she wanted the outcome that she wanted for her
Yeah.
book.
I could
And
see that.
yeah, well, I mean, when he was getting ready to take the stand too, she was like, he can cry on cue. You need to watch his body language or whatever. And it's like, the jurors aren't supposed to talk to each other about the case. You're not supposed to talk to them about the case. You shouldn't even have any interactions with them like that. It doesn't make
Right.
any sense. Um, so he's probably going to get a new trial if that stuff is true.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they'll find him guilty again anyway.
Mhm.
Um, but just the fact that they spent 6 weeks on this bullshit
Yeah.
already, and we're gonna have to go through another trial again.
I remember pulling up the live YouTube feed. Again, trying to focus on that as well, but their court is long. There were just so many parts where I was just like, I'm gonna fall asleep watching this. It dragged on forever.
Well,
Rightfully so.
yeah, but it was a lot. I mean, especially at the beginning, because it's like, oh,
Right.
yeah, I was at the crime scene. Here's my chain of custody,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. They have to go through all that stuff in the beginning, like the crime scene investigation and everything. So it was very slow at the beginning.
Right.
Um, but it really makes me, I'm like, I just want to be in the legal field. Like,
Oh yeah.
I do. And I was like, maybe I should look into being a paralegal, but they make infinitely less money than I do now. So
Oh
that would
really?
be really not a good thing for me to do.
What
Um,
exactly does a paralegal do?
I really think they get everything together,
All
like
like the info?
for the attorneys. Yeah, for the attorneys to present.
So you're like a researcher.
Yeah.
I don't love that. I don't like doing research.
I feel like it would be so fascinating because I would love to be an attorney if I actually, like, they are so impressive to me.
Yeah.
Prosecutors are very impressive to me. Just the way that they present all of their arguments and just knowing the law off at the top of their head.
Yeah.
And it's just insane to me that people are able to do that every day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't. No way.
The only thing is though with being a paralegal, you'd have to do, I feel like you'd have to do so many boring cases that you just don't want to deal with to get to the good ones.
That's true. Very true.
And making less money, not really worth it.
Yeah, exactly. But I really want to be in the courtroom. Oh, and with the Murdaugh case, financial crimes trial date has been set, mostly
Yep.
focusing on the housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. And that was set for November 27th.
Yep.
And I think we're going to try to get into the courtroom on this one.
Absolutely. I also feel if he gets a retrial for murder, we should try to be there as well.
Yes, I will. I will take weeks off work. Do
We
you hear
can
me?
camp out to be like first in line to get into that courtroom.
I would do it.
We actually could get like a local hotel room and then just wake up like the butt crack of dawn and go stand out there.
Yeah,
And oh
legit.
my God, stop with the two of us. If we did get a hotel room, we could kind of like switch off. Like if you needed to go pee, I'm holding the line, you're gonna go pee, get a snack, and then we can switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like camping to get barricaded at a concert.
No, it would be insane. I think the financial crimes trial isn't going to be as insane with people trying to
Correct.
get in there.
I
Um,
figured.
but yeah, if he gets another trial for murder, oh, that's going to be insanity.
I feel like we have to try though. We don't try, then we automatically fail.
True. Absolutely. And honestly, I would just like to hang out around the courthouse, even if we didn't get in. Be
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
absolutely. We could do, oh my God, if we don't get in, we could do a live podcast from outside of the courthouse.
Do you guys think we should get a Discord server? Please let us know somehow.
Yeah, someone who knows about these things, like if you're involved in Discord. Because I mean, I don't have any idea what it even means to have a Discord server. I don't know anything about it.
Well, I mean, we have one now. We did it to try to record the podcast, which we failed miserably at, but
Yeah.
we could live stream. And that's what I think would be good for the Discord if we were to do
Oh,
something like
okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know what else we can go like on TikTok, for instance. You have to have like 1,000 followers to go live. I don't know about YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
It does. It really does.
Huh.
But people go live, or they used to go live on YouTube. I don't know if that's a thing anymore now that everything's changing, but that could be an option too if we don't get Discord figured out.
Yeah, for sure. Get us
I'm
to a
sure we
thousand
will.
followers so we can do that, please.
On what?
Anywhere.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it's 1,000 everywhere. I just know TikTok is 1,000.
Well, I think we can do it. Um, okay. So there is one that I just thought of. Um, because the judge who tried the Murdaugh case, Clifton Newman, I watched another trial of his. And they were trying a mom and her boyfriend because they left her 13-year-old special needs daughter in a hot car to cook to death. Yeah. They were high on meth. And listen, listen. She was in the car at their house.
I saw the video of this,
Did you?
of them putting her in the car and they
Yeah,
proceeded to just hang out around the house and stuff.
right.
Oh my God, I saw this. I didn't know that she died.
It was
I mean,
disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting because they're groping all over each other and stuff in the video
yeah,
and going in and out of the house. And it's like, why are you going to put her in the car
right.
when,
What are they claiming was the reason they did this, or have they said anything yet?
well, they claim that she was planning on leaving because they had gotten into an altercation or something like that. And he put her in the car because they were going to leave. And then she locked her keys in the car. But the car was running. The car was running with AC, supposedly. No, there's no way. That's
Mm-mm.
not true. And because they're like, at some point, the AC just must have stopped working. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing. Do you see anybody go in and turn that car on before they let her in there?
Right.
No.
I don't
So
remember much of the video, but I don't remember seeing anyone turn the car on.
it was disgusting. I wanted to talk about how we view ratings, because we have differing opinions on this.
Completely different.
Yeah. So like, do you guys actually look at ratings like when you're going on Google and you're looking at a restaurant and everything? Because I do. If something has a 3.5, I don't want to go and eat there. But you don't consider ratings at all,
I don't
right?
even, I mean, unless I see, if I just happen to see like a 1 star, that might be like a red flag for me. Um, but no, I typically just look at, if it's restaurants, look at the menu. Do they have something that looks like I'd eat it? I'll try it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It never occurred to me to really look at ratings that much.
I
But
always do.
I really like seriously, if you're listening to this right now, if you're watching it on YouTube, comment, let us know how much ratings mean to you. If you're listening on a podcast app, hit us up on Instagram. I'm very curious to know who all actually cares about ratings. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm not like bashing or anything.
Hey, maybe we need to make a poll
Oh, we can do that.
on Instagram.
Yeah, I think we can add a poll to Spotify as well.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we should do
Yeah.
that.
Um,
So go ahead.
oh, well, I was gonna say the reason I bring up ratings is because I'm very, very hurt. Um, no, it's not that serious, but
It's
so I
annoying.
it's I'm very annoyed. So I went to go check our Spotify rating,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have very many ratings. So if you're an avid listener, please rate us on Spotify. I'd appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But I was looking and I saw that we had a 4.2 rating after the first episode came out.
After one episode, dude. One
Yeah.
episode.
And so I'm thinking, okay, so somebody gave us 4 stars or whatever. And then I went to go do the math and somebody rated us 1 star.
And that my issue with that is I've told you this already. Unless it's like the worst experience of my life, like a bad customer
Right.
service experience, I'm not going to rate something that I dislike. I don't even really rate things that I like unless it's like the podcast people are like, hey, can you rate us? It'll really help us out, whatever. I'll do that. I will go and rate them 5 stars, whatever. Why are you rating 1 star after one episode? And there's only one explanation for it.
Yeah, because the people who listened to that first episode are only people that we know,
Correct.
realistically.
Yes.
So what's the explanation for that?
It's a hater.
It's a hater.
It's absolutely a hater. Like, even if you're someone close to us and you listen to it and it's not your style,
Then
you're
you
not
wouldn't
going to
rate
rate
it.
us a 1 star.
Yeah, because you love us. You wouldn't want to rate us well anyway.
Absolutely. Imagine we like find out it is like one of our close family members. I was just like, don't love this. No, but
Then
yeah,
I'd kind of be like, I appreciate your honesty, but I really don't think that that is what's going on
I
here.
don't think so either. And I would rather them say it to our face. But
Yeah.
I have many, many people of interest that it could be on my end. Got a lot of enemies.
I don't think there's anybody on my end. I don't
So
think
it's me.
anybody either hates or cares about me that much to leave me a 1 star review. So,
So I brought this upon us, and for that
yeah,
I apologize.
it's your fault.
It ties back into last week's episode. Can't keep a friend. It's fine.
It's all
Taylor
right.
Swift actually has a lyric that really resonates with me. The whole song does, but the lyric is all of my enemies started out friends. That sent like
Ooh,
a knife through my chest the first time I heard it, because that is so true.
yeah.
So if you are listening, if you're hate listening right now and you gave us a 1 star, you know who you are. And karma is real.
Well, I don't even think they listened. I don't even think they
They
listened.
had to at least have fast forwarded through it,
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Forgot about
but
that.
they don't have to technically listen.
Mm.
Either way. Let me ask you this. Do you do the same? Like, I know there's that Rotten Tomatoes. Honestly, I don't know how it works. I don't know if tomatoes are good or bad. Do you look at movie ratings as well?
I see them and I think that is very highly subjective. So no, I don't really pay attention to IMDb ratings or Rotten
Okay.
Tomatoes.
And do you know what a Rotten Tomato is?
Rotten Tomato means bad. If you
So
get
if
100% certified fresh, then that's good.
so you can get a fresh tomato or a rotten tomato?
Correct.
Okay, I thought it was either you get tomatoes or you don't. And I'm thinking tomatoes are bad because if you're throwing tomatoes, you don't like it. I've
I just
never
know that they
understood.
have their seal. It's like certified fresh.
So if it's fresh, they approve. Which, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I would ever really care about that anyway, because
No.
some of my like, actually like 99% of my favorite movies are absolutely ridiculously stupid, and I can understand why they would probably get
Right.
like a negative 1,000 fresh. Or I don't
Don't you
100.
fucking do it neither.
What's happening?
I've got my spray bottle.
Hey, is that the same bottle I used for my rubbing alcohol?
Hey, maybe I
Oh,
got it from Five Below.
it's not, but it's the same color.
This one is like jet stream action spray, so it's fantastic for the cat.
What was the cat doing just now?
He was about to jump up on my entertainment center and mess with my
Ooh,
bamboo.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But he saw me grab the water bottle and he's like, oh, wait a
Oh,
minute.
can't do that.
Hey, somebody messed with my nozzle. It
Was it
misted.
you? Was it you?
Oh. I can't test spray it now because he's not doing anything. That would be mean.
Movie reviews don't really matter that much. Restaurant reviews do for you.
Yeah.
What else do you, what else can you even review?
I mean, I guess I really only care about restaurants or maybe
Okay,
like a
I
nail
mean,
salon.
oh, I never about to look. I mean, I stopped going to nail salons because they were ruining my nails, but I usually just take a chance and I go, and then if it's like ugly, I'm like, well, now I know not to go there again.
I got a horrible infection the last time that I went to the nail salon and
No.
was not happy about that. Well, because she dug all the way down to the nail bed of my big toe.
Yeah, they do
And
that.
I was like, this hurts worse than like there wasn't anything wrong with it. I don't know why
Right.
she dug deep down in there and like I was shaking in pain. It hurt so bad
Oh my
when she did it.
God.
Yeah. And anyway, so no. And I'm still trying to get it to come off. This gel polish. It's so hard to come off.
I've never gotten it on my toes before. I heard that people do that. I used
Yeah.
to not know that that was a thing. Um, but every time I would I stopped getting my feet done when I was like little because I didn't like the tickling,
Yeah.
and it makes me want to kick them in the face and just like don't touch my feet. Um, but I also stopped doing manicures because they always cut you. They always make you bleed.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
started doing gel polish. Like, don't manicure my nails, just put some polish on. I stopped doing that because they always hurt me removing it with the little buff thing. They would
Yeah.
always cut me. So I would leave and I would have like burning fingers for days with all these little cuts. And I
That's
tried
terrifying.
so many different salons. And then, of course, like when the gel comes off, because like you said, it's impossible to get off. The nail is like brittle and has like ridges and it's just ugly. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I usually do nothing. Sometimes I paint them. Sometimes I get the not the press-ons, but the glue-ons, which also leave your nails really
Really, I
crappy,
love the
but
press-ons and not the glue ones.
I've only used those once. It was back in like 2012, and they just made me really nervous like they were going to fall off, but my mom used to use them and they were like completely fine
Yeah.
for her.
Well, you know what I really like that I'd never get are like the nail wraps where you put it on and then
Oh,
you file off the top of it or whatever.
you've never tried it before?
I have, but I
Oh,
feel like I need to do them more.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever used them, but I've definitely seen them.
Yeah.
And the only reason I do the glue ones is because like the press on ones, I have like naturally big nails, like they're wide
Yeah.
too. So I do have some press-ons, but they're also narrow that like my nail pokes through, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
really?
So yeah, I did the glue ones a couple times. I have some really cute Halloween ones that I want to do. I'm just like waiting
Ooh.
for the time to wear them because I have two. One's like this white clown set, and I think the other is like pink spider webs, maybe.
That sounds cute. Don't like clowns.
Oh, I think you would like these. I might wear them this weekend. I don't know. We'll see.
It's early, but I busted out my Halloween stuff. It says, "No, you
Absolutely.
hang up."
Cute. No, I thought we determined that September 1st marked
Spooky
A-okay
season.
for Halloween. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
cool.
I think I've run out of things to talk about today. How about you?
Yeah, I don't think I ever had anything to talk about because I woke up late in a panic and it's all been downhill from there. Um, would now be a good time to say You're listening to our 4th episode. However, our 5th episode comes out October 1st. It's going to be revamped. There's going to be a lot of new, exciting things happening. I think it's okay to say that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting.
So, whoever has actually listened this far, like, thank you for tuning in, for just listening to us talk. We love to talk. We love podcast. I love a podcast. Um, but yeah, just like thank you for tuning in if you have this long. And I don't know, I'm excited for the month of October and the things that will be happening podcast wise. And
Ooh.
non-podcast wise, but I'm talking about the podcast right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
yeah.
Of course.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So be sure if you haven't already, we're on Apple Podcasts. We are on YouTube. What else are we on? TikTok, Instagram.
TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. I don't know if you said Amazon
Oh, we're on Amazon?
podcasts. Yeah, we're on a lot right now. I don't remember everything.
Nice. Well, I want it to
Mainly,
be accessible. Not everybody has Spotify.
right, which I didn't necessarily realize until after we
Yeah,
put
I
out the first one.
know. Same.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out the app. We're still like newborn babies when it comes to this, but I do know for sure we're on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify.
Nice.
And everyone can go on YouTube, so it works.
Yep.
So
Fantastic.
yeah, stay tuned for our October. October, that's our month. I just
Woohoo.
know it. I can feel it in my bones.
Also, remember to return your shopping carts to the corral. That was my thing.
Round of applause for that, honey. There's nothing worse than going to turn into a parking spot and there's a big buggy in the way.
I know it. How rude.
Speaking of, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll save it for another time. Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
All right. Well,
Bye.
bye.